In the quaint little town of Holloway, nestled among towering evergreens and shrouded in a perpetual mist, there existed an old legend that parents whispered to their children to keep them from wandering too far from home. It was the tale of the Shadow People, figures that lurked in the dark, preying on the light of the unsuspecting. Lila, an adventurous girl of 13 with a wild imagination, had grown weary of the stories. She longed to discover the world beyond her small town's borders, and her curiosity was as impervious to fear as the ocean is to fading footprints in the sand. One crisp autumn evening, emboldened by the golden light of the harvest moon, Lila set off into the woods. Her heart pounded an excited rhythm against the symphony of rustling leaves and distant hoots. With each step deeper into the forest, the world outside seemed to melt away, consumed by shadows that danced just beyond her vision. Was it merely an animal rustling among the branches? Or was it something else? The shadows, elongated and twisted, seemed to grow sentient, inching closer as if sensing her presence. Suddenly, a whisper sliced through the chilly air. "Why are you here, little one?" it said. Lila froze. She had never heard such a voice, one that seemed to echo within her mind. Gathering her courage, she replied, "I'm not afraid of fairy tales. They're just stories." The whispering laugh that followed was like the trickle of cold water down her spine. "Stories, dear child, are often born from the truth. We are real as the shadows you see at the edge of your sight." Just then, the darkness around her seemed to thicken, and Lila could make out figures with eyes glinting like distant stars under the moonlit sky. "We protect the balance," one figure said, stepping forward. "Where there is light, there must also be darkness." The gravity of their presence was undeniable, yet Lila stood her ground, intrigued rather than terrified. "Then why hide? Why be feared?" she asked. "Fear preserves us," said another. "It keeps the curious from meddling in things beyond their understanding. Much like you should not have come here." The beings began to retreat, fading into the depths of the night, the whispering returning to its persistent hum. Only one lingered, locking eyes with Lila. "Remember, child," it said, "though you walk in the light, we are never far behind." As the shadows slipped away, Lila found herself standing alone amidst the rustle of the trees. Excitement drained, replaced by humility and respect for the mysteries around her. She realized the shadows were part of her world, a scary world, perhaps, but one that was balanced, if just out of sight. When she finally retraced her steps and returned to Holloway, she carried with her a newfound reverence for the stories she had once dismissed, knowing they were the bridges between the light she knew and the shadowy truths she had touched.